So you can see that I had opened the Python standard editor. I am opening a file, that is program file. I am erasing the previous contents of this file, and I hope, am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
So right on today's topic, append method and readline method. Appending data in a file and readline method. So these two topics I will discuss in today's class. So in the previous class, you know that I already told you that there are two file modes, read mode and write mode. Now there is one more mode, that is called append mode. So first you write down about the append mode. You can open the file in append mode. When you open the file in append mode, you can add data to an existing file. The data will be append to the end of the already existing data. So you know that there are two modes I already explained to you, read mode and write mode. Now one more mode is there. This is called append mode, represented by A. So when you open the file in append mode, you can write data into a file. So you know that when you open a file in write mode, the previous contents of the file will be deleted. It will create an empty file. It will erase all the contents and create the empty file. But if you want to add more data in an existing file, you can open the file in append mode. How it can be done? Let's see with the help of an example. I am erasing these contents. So write down the heading, appending data in a file. So you know that file, you have to create one file object. Here I am creating file object, then you can call open method. And inside this open method, you have to pass the name of the file. Suppose the name of the file is student.txt, and then you can write the file mode. Here I am writing A. A stands for opening the file in append mode. So what happens when you open the file in append mode? If the file is not exist, if the file is not already exists, a new file will be created. And if the file is exist, the new data will be appended to the end of the file. So let's write some data inside this file. File object dot write. You know that with the help of write method you can write any string in the file. So I am writing here Jai Prakash and one new line character also, and then I close the file. So what happens when you run this program? It tries to open the student.txt file. If it is already exists, the new data will be appended to the end of the file. Let's run this program. So the program is not displaying any error, means you have successfully written the program. Now you can open the file. The file will be created in the same folder in which your program is stored. So you can see one file is there. I am opening this file. Now you can see Jayaprakash is written in this file. Now if I again run the program, a new data will be appended to the end of the file. Let's run again. Now open the file. Now you see two times Jayaprakash is written inside the file, because this Jayaprakash is already existing data and this is new data which is written inside the file again. So if I run this program again and again, Jayaprakash will be added to the file. So if you open this file in write mode, see what happens. W. So it will create a new file and write Jayaprakash inside that file. Let's see. Now open the file. You can see Jayaprakash is written. So when you open the file in write mode, it will always create a new file and write the new data into it. But if you open the file in append mode, it will add data to an existing file. Let's create an interactive program so that you can understand these concepts more clearly. Have you written this program code in your notebook?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's create an interactive program. Write a program in Python to append data to an existing file. So here I am creating one file object, then open the file. Suppose the name of the file is student.txt and the file mode is A. A stands for append. I will ask the user to enter the data. So first I will ask how many name you want to enter, how many name you want to enter. So you know that this input function displays a prompt on the screen, and this input function always return the data in the form of a string. So you can convert that string in int, means integer, with the help of this int function, and then that number will be stored in this array. Now with the help of for loop, for I in range and I can ask the user to enter the name, input, enter name. Now I will write this name in this file. So you know how to do it. F object dot write, and then I pass this variable, and I want to append one new line character so that the name will always written in the separate line. And then finally I can close the file. So this is a complete program. So you must understand that this line creates a file object. This open function returns a file object. With the help of this file object, you can perform all operations on the file. One variable I created, and in this variable I will store one number so that I can iterate over that number with the help of this for loop. So for I in range n, suppose the value of n is 3. So the 3 times this for loop will execute, and it will ask the name 3 times, and 3 times the new data will be appended to an existing file. Now let's run this program. So it is asking how many name you want to enter. So I enter 3. So enter name. So I enter Suryam Patle. Enter name Mehul Bhagat. Enter name Vishal Maneshwar. So 3 times the for loop executed. Now you can see whether these names are appended into the file or not. So we can see Suryam Patle, Mehul Bhagat, Vishal Maneshwar. written inside an existing file. So this data is already exist and this new data appended to the file. Let's run this program again. How many name you want to enter? I am typing 2. So enter name. So Prince Gate. Enter name. So Om Bagresh. So let's again check whether the data is appended to the file or not. So you can see this is already existing data and 2 more names appended to an existing file, Prince Gate and Om Bagresh. So this is an interactive program which demonstrates how to append data in an existing file. So you append data in an existing file by opening the file in append mode. Do you understand this concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I have written this program in your notebook.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
सर एक
sir.
कंफ्यूजन है. हेलो
Yes. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
हेलो
Yes, Suryam.
सर लोकेशन इसकी कहाँ रहेगी फाइल की, मतलब कोई श्योर जगह रहनी चाहिए, लोकेशन क्या कहीं पे भी रह सकती है?
No, if you want to save the file in exact location, then you have to create path here. You have to give complete path like this: C:// and then name of the folder and then slash and then name of the file. If you are not giving the path, this program will search the file in the current folder where your program is stored. So this program is stored in, suppose I am saving this file save as. So this program is stored in this practical Python folder. So this text file must be exist in that folder only. This program and this text file must be in the same folder. If you want to give complete path, you have to write like this. I will tell you what is the complete path or what is the file path or what is the difference between relative path and absolute path. So if you write directly the name of the file, it will search that file in the current folder. Okay, means your program file and this text file should exist in the same folder, then only this program will work. So I hope you have written this program in your notebook. So I'm erasing the contents. Now write down the topic, readline method. So you know about read method. Read method reads the entire contents of a file. But if you want to process one line at a time, you can use this readline method. So write down readline method reads a single line one at a time from the file. If you want to process one line at a time, you can use readline method in Python. This method reads a single line and returns that line in the form of a string. So suppose you want to read a single line one at a time from the file, one line, then second line, then third line, then fourth line. You can use this readline method in Python. I will explain how this readline method works in Python. Have you written this? Only 2 students
No, sir.
are displaying, Prince Gate and Suryam Patle. Why the other students are not joining the class? Maybe there is a network problem. I don't know. So write down. Write a program to read a file line by line using readline method. So let's the file which we have already created is student.txt. So you know that you have to create one variable. In this variable you will store a file object. So I open the file. So the name of the file is student.txt and I am opening the file in read mode. So R is written. So both the arguments must be passed as an string enclosed in double quotes. You know that file name is also enclosed in double quotes. This mode is also enclosed in double quotes or in single quote also you can use. You know that string can be represented by single quote or a double quote. So you are opening a file in read mode. Now if I call the function f1.readline, first I create a variable line is equal to and then I call the function read line with the help of object. So this read line will read a single line and that line in the form of a string will be stored in this variable. Now you can print the value of that variable on the screen. Now let's run this program and see what happens. So you can see only Jayaprakash is displaying on the screen and one blank line also. So it is a single line. So what happens when you call this readline method? It reads a single line. Let's open the program file. So this is a text file. So it reads a single line. If you again call this function, it will read a second line. If you again call this function, it will read a third line. So when you read a line with the help of this readline method, what happens? The pointer moves from beginning to the end of the file and then moves to the second line. So only one line is written by this readline method. If you want to read the second line, since pointer's location is on the second line, you can again call this readline method. So it will read the second line. If you again call this read method, it will read the third line. Let's see how it happens. If I create a variable line1, then it reads a line and line2. And again, I call the readline method and line3. Again I call the readline method. Now you can print line 1 and then print line 2 and then can print line 3. So I call this readline method 3 times. So 3 lines will be read from the file. Let's run this program and see the output. So you can see it reads the 3 line. First line, then second line, then third line. One blank line is also appearing after each and every line because each and every line has a new line character at the end of that line. If you want to remove this blank line, you can use rstrip method. Let's see. You know that rstrip method will remove any new line character from the right side. Any leading or trailing character if you want to remove, you can use strip method. So write strip. Now again run this program. Now you can see the output. Now there is no blank line in the output. So if you want to remove the blank line, you can use this rstrip method. You know that rstrip method will remove any space blank lines character from the line. So slash n is removed from this string. So you can see the output does not contain blank lines on the screen. So note down this program in your notebook and the output. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Prince Gate, Suryam and Vishal are present today. Have you written this program in your notebook?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So if you want to read one line at a time, you can use readline method. Again, if you call the readline method, it will read the second line. Again, if you call the readline method, it will read the third line.
Yes, sir.
So you have noticed that I am writing only string data in a file. If you want to write numeric data, it is also possible with the help of file and main. So write down the heading, writing numeric data in a file. So you can write numbers in a file also. So you know that write method always writes a string in a file. If you want to write numbers in a file, you need to convert number into a string. To convert number into a string, you can use str function in Python. So you know that there is a function str by which you can convert any number into a string, and then you can write that string in a file. Have you noted down this thing?
No, sir.
Okay, write down. So I will show you how you can store numbers in a file. Suppose you want to store a numbers in a file and you want to perform some operations on that number. For example, you can calculate the total of all those numbers. So how it can be done with the help of a Python program, I will demonstrate with the help of a program. So you note down this, that you can write numeric data in a file, because write method only writes the string. So you can convert the numbers into a string with the help of this strmap function. So have you written this? Now only Prince Gatha and Vishal Maneshwar are attending the class. Maybe the students are facing a network problem. Okay, I hope you have written these notes. So I am deleting, and now I will create an interactive program in which I will store numbers in a file. Then I will calculate the total of that numbers. So write down write a program to store numbers in a file and then calculate total of those numbers. So let's create one file object. You can ask the user how many numbers you want to enter. So I am declaring one variable n equal to integer, and then you can input. Suppose I am entering mass, so I will ask how many subjects are there. I can ask how many subjects are there for which you want to enter marks. Okay, so when the user enters 5, 5 will be stored in n. If a user enters 10, 10 will be stored in n, like this. Now I can create one file object. The name of the file object is suppose file handle. With the help of file handle, I can open the file. Suppose the name of my file is mass.txt. Okay, and then I open the file in write mode. So you know that when you call this function open, you need to pass two arguments. One is the name of the file, another is the file mode. So this function will return an object, and then object is referenced by this file handle variable. Now I can use one for loop for I in range n. So n number of times I can call this write method. So write down, so mass mark is equal to, I will convert the mass in int, and then I will ask the user enter marks in subject. So I want to display subject 1, subject 2 like this. So I plus 1 I am displaying here, I plus 1, because the value of I is 0, so it will display 0 plus 1. So enter mass in subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 like this, and one colon, and then close the bracket. So when the user enters any number, that number will be converted, that number is in the form of a string, and then that string will be converted into an integer with the help of this int function, and then this number will be stored in mark. Now I want to store this number in the file, so I call write method with the help of this file handle object write, and then I have to convert this number into string. So I will call a str method, and inside str method I pass this variable, and then I concatenate with the help of plus, and you know that this is a concatenation operator, means joining two strings. So I am joining new line character, so that each number should be entered, should be stored in a separate line in the file. So the for loop is complete. Now I can close the file, file handle dot close. So this code will write numbers in the file. Now I want to calculate the total of numbers, so you can write comment here, calculate total. So again I will open the file, file handle, and then call the open function, and in this I will write the name of the file, and then in this case I am opening the file in read mode. So one variable I am creating here, total equal to 0, and count equal to one more variable, count equal to 0. Now for line in file handle, so when you open the file you can iterate over this file with the help of in operator. So when line in file handle, you can store, you can convert. Since the data is in the form of a string, so you have to convert that string into an integer so that you can calculate the total. So I am using int function here. Then you can increment the value of count, means how many subjects you have count, and then you can print subject count and then marks, and then you can write marks here like this. So it will display subject and the value of count, for example subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, and the marks, and then you can calculate the total equal to total plus marks. Now you can print the total on the screen, total marks, total, and then you can close the file and then dot close. So this is a complete program. In this program I am entering data in the file, numeric data in the file, and then I open the file in read mode. Then I am reading the file one by one. So here I have to write, so no need to write the read line method, because with the help of this for loop you are accessing each and every line from the file. Now let's run this program and see whether it is giving the correct output or not. Run module. So it is displaying one error, so I will remove the error. Now the error is removed from this program. Now again I am running this program. How many subjects for which you want to enter marks? I am entering 5. So one more error is it is displaying. So what is the error? Input accepted at one most arguments. Okay, so I will correct that error. Here you cannot display this I plus 1. So enter the mass in subject and I can display print here, print the value of I plus 1 like this. Okay, so let's run again. How many subjects are there for which you want to enter mass? I am entering 5. So 1. So enter mass in subject, so I am entering 50. 2. Enter mass in subject 50, 50, 75, 65. So you can see it is displaying, it is reading the file subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4, subject 5, mass 50, 50, 50, 75 and 65. So total mass is 290. So this is how you can read and write the numeric data in a file. So I hope you have written this program in your notebook. Vishal?
No, sir.
So write down this program in your notebook. So without calling readline method, I am reading the file, because when you call this open function returns an object which contains all the lines. So I am iterating over this object for line in this file handle object. In this way also, without calling the readline method, you can read the contents of a file. Have you written this program in your notebook?
No, sir. Last one.
Okay. So this count variable I only use for displaying 1, 2, 3, 4 like this only. And this total variable, in this total variable I am adding the mass and then again store in total. So this is the logic I already used in previous examples also. Total is equal to total plus mass 1 by 1. The mass will be added in this variable and then this total mass is stored in this variable. So you can iterate over the file object with the help of this for loop, for line in file handle. So one by one you can read the data and then calculate the total. So you must keep in mind that when you want to convert a string into a number, you can use int or float, and when you want to convert number into a string, you can use str method. This str method will convert the number into a string. So since this write method will write the string in a file, that's why you need to convert the number into a string. So with the help of str method, you can convert number into a string.
Yes, sir. Written.
Written? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about readline and append mode. So I will end my class. In the next class, I will explain about write lines method and read lines method. So before exiting, you should write down the home assignment. So this type of program may be asked in your practical examination also. So write a program in Python to store numbers in a file and then calculate the total of those numbers. What do you mean by append mode? What happens when you open and file open a file in append mode when it does not exist? Write a program in Python to ask the user to enter customer name one by one and store those customer names in a file customer.txt. So these three questions will be an assignment for today's class, and you have to write the solution of all these three questions in your notebook. Take out the image of that solutions and send me on my WhatsApp number so that I can check whether all the assignments are done by you or not. Have you written all these three questions in your notebook?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm ending this class. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.